everybody, it's comedian Jen Kober. Welcome to my podcast, Bitchin' Over Biscuits, where we tackle a different genre of podcast every week, dive deep into that subject matter, all while eating delicious biscuits. I am joined by my producer and grounding force and fact checker extraordinaire, Mr. Mike Brignac. How are you, sir?
I am tired from this past weekend watching you entertain the city, but feeling good. Happy to be here.
We had a great night and a great show. And this week's surprise celebrity guest is none other than comedian Jeffrey J., one of my favorite humans on the planet. How are you, sir?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. I am great. A little bit about our sweet guest this week. Jeffrey J. is a Los Angeles-based comedian raised in a small town in Texas called, wait for it, Texas City. That's right, Texas City, Texas. He had a Republican judge for a mother and a father who works on oil tankers. So definitely Jeffrey J. is one of our people. What we like to call the redneck hick society. Definitely a Southerner. Excited to be having a biscuit with you this morning, sir. I am eating we eat biscuits on this show. And this morning, my lovely lady has created another one of her fluffy biscuits the size of a cat's head. I call them the cat head biscuits. God. And she's put a little grilled ham and cheese on there for me. I'm a fan of the Chisasi brand ham that you can get down here at the Rouse's. Delicious. Because I'm coming to you from Baton Rouge this week. So this is the most delicious ham and cheese biscuit I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to devour it as we begin to eat. Mike, what are you eating this morning?
It's my go-to place, Bourbon Street Deli at the Tobacco Plus gas station.
Woo!
A Boudin biscuit.
Oh, man, listen, when I was in Lake Charles this weekend, I had some Boudin loaded fries. They put the Boudin on top of their crispy fries with a little queso, a little pickled jalapeno peppers, rather, all over the top of it. Only $6.99. I almost cried. It was absolutely delicious. Such a wonderful dinner. A lovely, and I had a Boudin ball on my way to the Horseshoe Casino for this weekend's shows, and we had a blast. Jeffrey J., what kind of biscuit you got this morning?
Ooh, I've had to go. I'm in Los Angeles, and I found out about this a little bit late, so I ended up with Pillsbury Grands, the layers.
Oh, the flaky layers. Oh, I always say that they're like biscuit potato chips.
Yeah.
Soft biscuit potato chips.
Yeah, it's biscuit on gratin.
Oh, I love it. A gratin of biscuit.
If you have to go store-bought, I think you have to do the flaky layers. It makes it a project too. It's not just.
And do you put anything on your biscuit? Or you what you got on there?
Oh yeah, I do honey butter.
Oh, you fucker. Honey butter. Are you kidding me? My lady likes to make honey butter, but what she does is she brushes the top of the biscuit with the honey butter. So you're going, well, there's nothing on it, but you taste that little bit of sweet, and you want to smack her in the face after you eat it.
And it caramelizes on top when you do it that way.
Oh, it's so good.
One of the reasons I like doing the honey butter too is, and I make the honey butter as I'm going. I do honey and butter, because then you can do some with just butter and then some with the honey. You can go back and forth between the sweet and the savory.
My lady came up to me this morning and she said, Jennifer, because she usually does the honey butter brush on top, and she says to me, Jen, this morning they're going to be savory biscuits because this bitch has clearly put some cheddar cheese in the biscuit mix. You see, that is cheddar cheese that is in the biscuit mix and on top. Good. I'm taking my first bite. Oh, the ASMR on that is real good, y'all. It is delicious, savory, salty, cheesy, hammy.
It looks good.
Y'all, this one's a keeper. Not gonna lie. Unbelievably delicious. Can you hear me, babe? It's good. It's real good. Will you bring me another Diet Coke? I love you. I love you. All right. So this week we are tackling the genre of technology. Now, when I was thinking about what are we going to bitch about technology, it immediately made me think electronics, right? Like that's the kind of technology I'm always, or apps or something like that. But I'm going to tell you, everyday things have evolved. And today, earlier before we got started, Mike was talking about I have this metal mouse pad because I have a Mac computer. So I got a metal mouse pad that makes the mouse, the little Bluetooth mouse, move so much smoother on my desk. But it gets schmutzed up. That is a good Yiddish word. It gets schmutzed up and it ends up having like little black specks all over it. And I just had Brooke bring me a magic eraser, which is my favorite. Oh, this is a real good tool. And I got on there and I got it clean. It is sparkly clean. You would never know any mouse has been all over it. And I said, look what this magic eraser did. It's amazing. I want to use it on everything. And Mike, you said
you cannot use it on everything. We have a brand new one of those barn sinks. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
Stainless steel.
It's big and deep is what you're saying.
Big and deep, which is how I liked it in college, but it scratches everything. I scrubbed the bottom of the basin and then look down and there's all these circular score marks. So now I'm looking.
So you're saying the magic eraser is too abrasive. It's too magic.
It works on shoes. But not on metal, not on precious metal or stainless steel. It will
or paint certain paints too, like your car. I've watched people destroy their cars.
So I don't understand. We can send a man to the moon and we can't make a sponge that gets the bottom of a chrome sink ready to go without making little marks. I mean, here's what I think. I think there should be a sponge, right? Like this magic eraser that gets all the stuff off. And then when that makes scratches and stuff, there needs to be another one, right? That comes along and buffs that out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't they make that? Who do we talk to? Who do I talk to?
Maybe this is our $1 million idea.
This is it. This is us. This is the
we can get the technology into the sponges.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to update everything now, y'all. I went into my little nieces go to school here in Baton Rouge, and the littlest one said, Aunt Jen, can you come have lunch with me one day? And I thought, oh, that's cute, right? I'm going to go have lunch with the third graders. That'll be lots of good material, right? Jeffrey, as a comedian, we're constantly looking for inspirational things to talk about. So I'm thinking, I'm going to have lunch with these third graders. This is going to be perfect, okay? Then she says to me, day before I'm going to have lunch with her, Aunt Jen, can you bring Raisin Canes so I don't have to eat the shitty lunch at school? And she is 8, and I promise you, she said shitty to me because I let her. So she didn't want to eat the school lunch, wanted me to bring her Raisin Canes, which, if you don't know, Jeffrey J, that's just chicken fingers and fries and toast.
Oh, right? I know
So
Raisin
good.
Canes.
So this is what I'm saying. She wants Raisin Canes, and I'm thinking, well, I probably want some Raisin Canes too. So I'm going to grab Raisin Canes and bring it to school. Now, we also all know that when you're eating school lunch and another kid's parent, aunt, uncle, whatever shows up with Raisin Canes, you about to be the talk of the table, right? So I went and got the big Caniac combos, right? It's like 5 chicken fingers and a whole bunch of fries. I got some extra toast. I got some extra sauce. We about to do this up in the 3rd grade lunch hour, right? My baby's gonna look like a badass. I even got coleslaw, okay? Like I have done this right. And I forgot to get drinks. I didn't think I should be bringing her soda, right? I didn't want to get her the lemonade because it's just a lot of sugar. So I thought, well, we'll drink milk. It's a cafeteria. There will be milk there. We'll just have milk. I love milk. I love moo cow fuck milk. Yes, I do. Real whole milk. And I was betting that they were going to have chocolate. So I thought, oh my God, Raisin Canes washed down with cold chocolate milk with a bunch of 3rd graders. This is about to be my heaven. Y'all, I got there. This milk is in a fucking bag.
What?
They serve, yes, the technology of milk. Apparently the Capri Sun people got together with the milk people. And now you got to take a straw and stab a bag of milk.
What?
And then it just sits there like a blob while you're eating your lunch.
Oh
and you got
God.
to like lean over to it and try to sip from the man. But
What
I
happened to the
guess
cartons?
the
little
cartons the cartons were hard to open. Let's be real. Those cartons were hard.
Yeah.
There was a whole peel back, and then you had to pinch the right way so the spout would come out. That wasn't any easier, but at least you had your dignity. You weren't drinking milk out of a fucking bag. I mean, I can't believe it. They didn't have that where you were, Jeff? They didn't have that? No?
No, I've never seen, and I've done a lot of school things, school events and school speaking and stuff too. And I've never seen the bag ever.
I was flabbergasted. I cannot believe that in 2024, these children are drinking milk out of a bag. And I said to Riley, I said to my niece, I was like, what the fuck is this? Why are we drinking milk out of a bag? She says, Aunt Jen, that's the milk of the future. I was like, if that's the milk of the future, honey, throw me back to 1977. I don't want nothing to do with milk in a bag.
So does the bag stand upright like a Capri Sun, or are we talking just sloshes around?
It is like an implant. I swear to God, it's like an implant, a breast implant full of milk. That is what it is. It's just a flat bag. You don't even know where to stab it. There's not even like an X on it to be like, put straw here. Nothing. It is just milk in a bag. I'm like, at this point, just put it on tap. I'll bring my own red Solo cup and we can just put the milk in the cup.
Oh my God, I'm looking at it now. It looks like how you would ship drugs.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Yes, it is just a Ziploc bag. As if you took a Ziploc bag, filled it full of milk, and then laid it on the counter.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
That's a disaster.
That is what I'm saying. How is this? It is 2024. We can't figure out a better way to give children milk. Where's the technology here?
How do you even make it work?
This has to evolve.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't, you know what I'm saying?
We can do better.
That's what I mean. That is what I mean. We need to get the engineers at Microsoft to somehow address bagged milk.
Elon can do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fascinating.
What did they do? Did you have cartons of milk growing up? Is that what you had?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had milk cartons and the chocolate. Like, I don't think anybody drank non-chocolate milk. Who would do that?
Yeah,
right.
The chocolate milk. Well, it was the kid that couldn't have chocolate, right? There was always one on the milk order. There was always one kid, and now there, my Brooks' son has a dairy allergy. He can't have anything with milk in it. So now there's all these milk alternatives, plant-based milk. And he says to me, I want to drink almond milk. And I was like, it's not almond milk, baby. That's almond water.
Yeah.
They just soak the almonds in water and let it get pulpy and nutty flavored and like that color of almond. And then they kind of puree it all up together and sift out the nut pieces. And it's almond water. That's not milk.
Yeah.
And here I could drink, if you're just talking about like in your coffee or Brooke bakes a lot of things with the plant alternative milk. Yeah. Right. And I love that technology. I think that's amazing. Coconut milk is very wonderful in many desserts.
I do oat milk.
Oat milk. Oat milk in your coffee gives it a wonderful flavor.
It's cool. It's interesting. It's like toasty.
Yes. It enriches it. But here's my problem. When I eat cereal, I got to have the moo cow milk. I'm sorry. None of that other. I have tried it. When I put that coconut milk into the Rice Krispies, I thought, this is it. This is going to be the one. This is going to taste amazing. It was too thick. It's too creamy. It tastes like it's too much. Yeah. It's like having sweetened condensed milk with your cereal. It's too much. So And I mean, and I would have to do without sweetened condensed milk. Like, come on, man. Here's what I feel like the technology needs to lead us towards. Having less of those things, right? Like, so implementing more plant-based food into your diet, not telling you to get rid of it altogether. If you did that to me, I feel like I could really embrace a lot of these meatless Mondays that they're doing in LA. You know, all the restaurants kind of got together on that. Excuse me. There's like certainly a push for the alternative milks. There's a push towards these alternative meats.
Yeah, I have a bone to pick, and now I think you've gotten into a niche topic of technology, and that is a bit on the like the vegetarian vegan part of it. I have me and my partner, we have it like, look, I've gone vegan many times in my life. I love eating vegan. I call myself vegan alone because if I'm alone, I will tend to eat only vegetables. But it's just because I I mean, I have like a weird taste buds, Robert. I'll just like eat spinach like out of my hand at times.
I'm part rabbit.
Yeah. But then if I'm out, I eat all things. And so I don't have a diet or whatever. Here's what I hate. When vegans, I'm around so many vegans because I love vegan food. And I am vegan many times. When vegans try to convince you that first of all, something tastes like something else. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And number two, that because you make it look like it, that you should have in your mind that it tastes like that. Hey, vegans, just do the thing. You made a maple bacon carrot? That sounds lovely. You want to call it carrot bacon? Fuck you.
No, that's exactly right. Listen, I went out with the girl. And we ordered, she was telling me she wanted to take me out for vegan burgers. I was like, there's two words that don't go together. And we go there and there's floor to ceiling menu of all these different kinds of burgers. And every one of them is plant-based. And she's like, which one are you going to get? And I'm like, why don't we split one? Because I don't think I want a whole one. And so it comes out, we get the knife. I go to cut the burger in half and it bled. There was, right? There's I go, what is the pink stuff coming? She goes, oh, that's from the beets.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
bitch, you brought me to eat beet meat? No, thank you. I do not want your beet loaf. I do not want your beet balls. I do not want your beet meat. This is bullshit. Why would you do that? If you're a vegan, you don't want to eat animal products. So why would you want your burger to bleed? It makes no sense to me.
No sense. It doesn't have anything to do with the flavor.
No.
Trying to create an experience, which it's like, hey, guess what? I also like beets.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you handed me like a big portobello mushroom and you were like, it's our mushroom burger, and like you did it like a burger, but I knew that it was a big portobello mushroom and not a big meat patty, I'm okay with that. Why, if I have said I don't want to eat meat, why do you keep trying to get me to eat shit that looks like meat?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Which is why I don't understand almond milk. It's not almond milk. It's almond water.
Yeah, it's almond juice.
There you go, almond juice. That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. So you trying to make it something else that you, right? And this is a big market right now. This plant alternative. This is the way we're going to be eating in the future and not be so reliant on animals and land and all these things. And I agree with all of those things in theory. But when I want a cheeseburger with bacon on top of it, if you hand me a fucking beet burger with carrot bacon on top of it, I'm going to punch you in the throat. I'm going to hurt you. That's, you know what I mean? That's what the problem is that they keep saying we need to cut it out. And I feel like maybe eventually, yes, right? You got to wean me off of it, though. You got to get me used to some of these other flavors before you're just like, stop going to Wendy's. Fuck you. Yeah. That's delicious.
Oh, man. I'm so glad
that must be hard to stay vegan when you're on the road, Jeffrey, because you tour a lot. You're on the road a lot doing comedy. So how do you stay vegan in those places? Is there a trick?
Well, first of all, I don't. That's why I love this thing that I do, where I'm like, First of all, I was never gonna go vegan. I went vegan the first time because I took an environmental science class in college,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a list of all the projects that you could do, and one of the projects was just go vegan, and I was like, I'm not
Oh
doing
yeah.
it. So I went vegan, and then I started feeling better. I had really bad stomach problems, and they fixed, and I was like, oh
Oh
no, I didn't
no.
want to stick to this. And then I kind of went back and forth, but I go almost vegan because I'm a bit lactose intolerant. So when you're vegetarian and lactose intolerant, then you're an asshole. So might as well call yourself a vegan. So then what I decided afterwards was if I eat mostly pretty darn healthy, then I don't have stomach problems. And then when I go out with people, I can eat whatever I want. And then I never have to say no to stuff or be the person who makes people change their reservations and stuff. And I love
Right.
it.
Oh,
And then
good.
at home, I
That's
just eat
smart.
spinach and beans.
You're adaptive. That's what I love about you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Adaptive, like the chameleon. You know what it is? I feel like because talking about this future of eating. Remember when we were kids and they started freeze drying food and they would sell it like this is what the astronauts eat. It was like a big, like if you went to NASA or you went to space camp or you went to any of those field trips, they would give you, the big thing was freeze-dried cotton candy. And I remember thinking, how much water is in cotton candy? I don't understand. I don't understand why we're freeze drying the cotton candy, but okay. And they would show us these meals they would have that were freeze dried, and now freeze dried food, candy especially, is making a new, like it's the new futuristic thing. I am addicted to freeze dried Jolly Ranchers.
Really?
So much so that I looked into buying a freeze drying machine, and they're like $5,000. The good ones are like $5,000. But I'm still thinking about it. I might go take out a second mortgage on my house just to get this machine. Y'all listen to what it does. There's the Jolly Ranchers, when they get freeze dried, they puff up into little balls, like not unlike a cheese puff.
Oh,
but it's made of Jolly Rancher. It is the most satisfying, technologically advanced candy I have ever had in my. It is so good. Then they do it to Skittles.
Yes, that's my favorite.
They take the Skittles and the sour Skittles, which are real, real good.
Oh my god!
And they freeze dry them, y'all. Now, here's where the project loses a little bit of its luster. They are up for a bag of them. It's like $15.
Jeez.
It's like $10 to $15 for a bag like this. So while I was in Mississippi with my lady friend last week, we went to a store called Frugal's, even though it's spelled Frugels. It's called Frugal's. And they had freeze-dried lemon heads for $5 a bag. And I bought all of the ones that were on the shelf.
My God.
And then I left a bag open. And I go, oh my God, I love these that I left open because they're chewy. And Brooke goes, you mean they got rehydrated, you dumb son of a bitch? You could have bought them regular if you're just going to eat them chewy, you fucking moron. And I was like, oh, that's true. I'm clearly not the brightest lemon head in the box.
It's like that. There's a big trend on TikTok of people taking Pringles and making mashed potatoes. It's like, what? Started as just potatoes. You added extra steps, you idiot.
I love that. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't, I mean, I guess I feel like if you put the water back in the puffy Jolly Ranchers, they would take that form, but they would almost just disintegrate and turn to
Probably
dust.
so.
Because the Starbursts are not.
I don't like the Starburst.
Not great.
Not a fan.
I had a Snicker bar, a freeze-dried Snicker bar.
What?
That was kind of okay. It's weird to eat a Snicker bar that like shatters in your mouth.
Yeah.
How are you trying all of these? Where are you getting?
There's a candy store that we stopped at in Indianapolis. It's called the Uranus Fudge Factory. The best
Oh,
fudge
best
comes
fudge
from
in Uranus.
Uranus.
Yeah.
We kept seeing the billboards
So
for it.
good.
I was up there doing shows and we kept seeing the billboards for it. And Brooke was like, we have to stop. How can we not stop? It kept
Yeah.
saying, we'll pack your fudge real tight in
No.
Uranus. Like the billboards were just making me laugh so hard. I thought,
My
for
God.
God's sake, we got to just stop so I can take a picture in front of these signs. It'll be such a funny Instagram post. And we went in there and they have a wall of everything in the world freeze dried. And you know me, I considered it research.
Sure.
So I bought one of everything to see what it was. And I'm telling you, I have done this research, folks. You don't need to spend. I spent $106.
What on freeze-dried candy?
On freeze-dried candy. Now, some of it was actual fudge, which was
okay.
absolutely delicious.
You talk about a lot of this stuff in your show. Isn't this a write-off for you?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I am going to write off all the fudge and everything. If nothing else, it's travel meals.
Yeah. Well, I would say here's what you should do. When you start falling in love with stuff, just make it a point to put it in your act, because then if your stuff is specifically about freeze-dried foods enough, I think you can write off a possible freeze-dry machine.
Oh, I love this answer. Oh, Jeffrey J., you're my best friend. That's the greatest idea anyone has ever had. I love that. It's absolutely true. And I feel like it's the future, because what if there's no water later, y'all? We got to get used to eating the dry stuff anyway. Right? I just did a show in Flint, Michigan. They don't have
there is no water.
Right? The government still provides them with bottled water in that town.
That is insane.
Unbelievable. But I'll tell you what, one of the cutest little towns, we had the best time there. And those people know that the rest of the world thinks that they don't have any water, and they do. I was like, I wanted to wash my hands in the bathroom, but I was worried if I turned on the water, some child was gonna die. But they were like, no. They made that out to be so much worse than it was, or whatever. And I don't know the logistics. I didn't want to get into it, because that's the thing. When you're known for something that's kind of backwards, the technology hasn't made it there yet, right? Like I just did shows in West Virginia. And when I went to check into the hotel, the fella handed me a key. And I don't mean a hotel room key that looks like a little card. I mean a turn in the knob kind of key. And I was like, dude, what? He goes, oh, sorry, I'll give you a rubber band so you can hang on to it. He put a rubber band on the key and handed me that. I was like, you are asking for this key to be lost.
Oh.
I had to keep up with the fucking actual key. I'm like, where am I supposed to put this? Like, I don't have a car. I've flown into West Virginia. These people are picking me up and whatever, and I have to keep hold of a single key.
Oh,
and I'm like, y'all, they make electric like a thing. Anyone can make a copy of this key and get back into this room. Y'all, it's 2024. What are y'all doing?
He could have at least done that whole like gas station restroom thing and put it like on a giant spatula or something.
And the technology of wooden spoons.
Yeah.
Being used for that. Well, let's switch gears just a sec for just a bit. Has there been a gadget or a technological advance that you've seen lately that really blew your mind, that you were like, oh my God, I didn't even know that existed?
Yes. And this is how you know I'm that I'm almost 40. There's a thing called Merlin. It's an app, and it's made, I gotta look it up real quick. So it's Merlin Bird ID. It's from Cornell, and it will listen to the sound. You can go outside and you hit sound ID, and it will tell you all of the birds that are making noises. And
wow.
You are a 90-year-old man.
Yeah. This is how you know I now have a house and not
that's adorable
anymore.
That's
because
adorable.
Birds, like there's a moment when it switches and you just are like, oh my God, I want to know what this bird is. And so now I go around the country when I'm on tour and I have my little Merlin Bird ID.
That's adorable. That's adorable. There's an app like that I'm very fond of now lately, because since we got a house, Brooke loves plants. And so she keeps putting plants all over the house. And I'm like, I'm never here, so the plants aren't my fucking responsibility. So I buy plants. They're fake. It's a whole tree. It's nothing. It's made of silk. So she's got and there's an app that you can point at the plant. If the plant's not doing well, or if the plant's turning yellow, or if the leaf edges or whatever, and it will tell you what you're doing wrong with the plant.
Which app is this?
Unbelievable to me.
Do you know what app this is?
Yeah, it's called Plant In, like plantain.
Yeah.
Plant In. And I mean, it blows me away every time.
That's amazing.
My daughter uses that app. She has these succulents all over our back porch, a dozen succulents, and she uses that app. I know this because she freaked out because she got a $30 charge on her Apple App Store today.
Oh.
And her free trial renewed for a year for $30. So it's apparently it's a good app.
Well,
she likes it.
It's one of those things that, like, how does it know that? Like, anytime I see things like that, I wonder, how did they make this happen? Right? Like, I just read an article about what dogs dream about. I'm like, how do you fucking know? What dog is being like, last night, man, I was chasing a car and I just couldn't, like, how is that happening? But it somehow is happening. There's an app that can tell you what your dog is. And I'm like, I don't.
That one might be made up.
I think that's bullshit. Somebody's taking, if you're paying for that.
Yeah, that one's like the ghost tracking apps.
Right.
Just seeing a shadow.
That's so funny. So it's called Plantin. That's it. Plantin. That is actually
great.
And it just it helps you with all of it. It gives you what you need to do to it. Water it, put it in the sun. It'll also identify plants, like you were saying with the birds.
Yeah.
If you're like just walking, there's a botanical garden in Las Vegas that's part of the Bellagio, right? And you can go in there and just point it at oh my God, what's that? I want that in my yard. And it'll tell you what the flower is and whatever, and what regions it grows well in and what it needs for care. And I mean, who did this?
Amazing.
You're telling me we can identify birds from a fucking sound recording, we can identify plants from a picture, and we can't find a sponge to take the scrubby, smirchy marks out of the basin? What's going on in the world?
I know.
How we need this spending our time.
We need this for identifying people we've met once that expect us to remember them.
Like that.
Oh, nice. Jeffrey, that is smart AF. Yes, it is. That is so smart. Because y'all, there's a lady in California who I don't know, but I always say, have you ever seen someone you don't know again? Right? Like you see, I don't know this lady, but I see we're starting to give each other that nod, right? That like chin up kind of, hey, no, it's you again, right? And you almost want to be like, I'm not following you. We clearly just frequent the same places on the same day. Should we be friends? Do I go up to this woman? Do we exchange numbers? Do I add her on Instagram? What do I do here? It's weird.
Oh my God, amazing.
That would be a great app.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that idea.
God, well, you could already do it with the COVID. Remember how we tracked who we were in contact with during COVID?
Oh,
that technology right there could do it.
Could probably do it.
I never opted into that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice. If you went to the airport, it would send, don't you remember? It would send you a thing that was like, you've been exposed. And you're like, how have I been exposed?
That's what that was?
You went to if you went to the airport during COVID, you got that notice because they were like, bitch, you've been around all the people that are coming in from other places. Yeah. You gonna die. You need to know. It's coming for you.
I'm so incredibly tracked.
I know, we all are. And that's the magic of technology.
Yeah.
We have come full circle again. Our surprise guest today has been Mr. Jeffrey J. You can find Jeffrey at Jeffrey J Comedy, JEFF JeffreyJay, JeffreyJComedy.com. Jeffrey J does his own podcast with Mary Lynn Reiskub called That Woo You Do. It is very entertaining and fun. The two of you together have such a fun rapport, and she's such
Yeah,
a
you
great
do.
gal. Who you'll recognize from everything. My favorite
Yeah.
thing she did was Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
I love her in that. And she's also been on 24 and just a million
24,
things.
yeah.
She's fantastic. And Jeffrey J opens for her all the time. They do lots of shows together.
Mhm.
Jeffrey J will be running a queer storytelling workshop at the Crow Comedy Club in Santa Monica. You can check that out at crowcomedy.com. It is a 6-week storytelling workshop. And Jeffrey J is a fellow queer. That's how we met. We met at the Queer Comedy Festival in Portland.
Yes, and also last thing too, when you were asking like, what do you got coming up? And I was like, I don't know. We have Reston Pride coming up together.
That's right. You and I are doing a show together in Reston, Virginia. If you are anywhere near
cool.
Reston, Virginia, check it out. Jeffrey J and I are doing a show together. That's so
Yeah.
I forgot about that too.
On June 1st.
Together on June 1st. June 1st, we are kicking off Pride together. If you would like more information or to see our biscuits or check out our video clips, etc., you can do so on Instagram at the BOB Podcast. We are Bitchin' Over Biscuits, so at the BOB Podcast, or check us out online, thebobpod.com. This has been a lovely morning with the two of you. I have really enjoyed my biscuit, so thank you to Brooke for that. I have really enjoyed our food technology talk.
Yes.
we really covered the gamut here, and we didn't have to bring up electronics really till the very end. It was a lovely chat. I've enjoyed talking to you both. Join us again on our next Bitchin' Over Biscuits, where you will find out who our super secret celebrity guest is. Right now, this is Bitchin' Over Biscuits, and we are out.